Velkommen alle sammen. Just getting back from my trip back home to Norway. I have some amazing historical and spiritual videos coming for you in the next few weeks here, but I wanted to show you this one first. For a long time, I've said many bad things about Norway and why I will never move back there. No offense to any of our Norwegian brothers and sisters, because 90% of what is bad about Norway actually has to do with the government, media, the bureaucracy, and I just believe if we fix those things, Norway would be the most heavenly place on earth, as it has been many times before in history. So that's what this video is about, letting the world know the top 3 greatest things about Norway. Number 3, the safety and security. And this actually applies to many different aspects of life. It's of course you are safe from things like crime, generally speaking. You are safe from violence and robbery and things like that in Norway. It's a very safe place in that aspect. But it's also safe in other ways. You are safe from disasters, injuries, accidents, illnesses. Norway has medical care for everyone, basically free of charge, and the medical care is relatively good considering it is socialized. You know, it's not the best in the world, but it's definitely better than most other countries with universal health care. So you have safety and security that way, and security from like disasters. They are very prepared for things involving nature, certain catastrophes like that. You are also in Norway safe from poverty. You have economic security. There are systems in place where you don't really have to worry about paying your bills, going bankrupt, poverty. Yeah, of course, the system in Norway is not perfect either, and some problems come from this actually, but there are systems set up so that no one really has to worry about becoming homeless or starving in this country. There are also systems in place keeping people from actually getting very wealthy, so there is little difference in wealth among the citizens, and pretty much everyone is living a very comfortable life in the middle class. Interpret that however you want. You know, there are some problems that come with that too, but at least we can all agree that keeping our fellow citizens out of poverty is a good thing. Number 2 best thing about Norway, the people. Although before I have definitely said plenty of negative things about the general public and what Norwegian citizens have become in recent decades, but overall they are still some of the best people in the world, you know, ethically and morally speaking. This leads to a great, peaceful, and civilized society, and this is what you will notice more than anything about Norway when you get there, is that they are just such a civilized and considerate people, more than almost any other country in the world. I can give you just one example from my trip that blew me away here. I was driving on one of the main motorways in the whole country. It's in the south of Norway, and everyone along this motorway had to board onto a boat and travel on this ferry to continue across the fjord onto the next motorway. They unloaded the ferry, reboarded it, and sailed off in literally less than 4 minutes. It's because everyone is so civilized, organized, and considerate. This type of thing would not happen anywhere else in the world as quickly and efficiently as it is happening here. It's driving me crazy thinking back to the US, where I'm living now, for example. This same situation would be an absolute catastrophe. Traffic jams, people cutting the line, honking, yelling, overbooked traffic, someone's in a hurry and needs to get to a certain spot, someone's arguing with the staff, and then once they get on the ferry, however long that may take, like half an hour or whatever, and then they need to exit the ferry again with all their cars. You know, someone may have fallen asleep, someone's taking a shit and it's not there to move their car, they're blocking everyone else so they're trapped on, somebody else doesn't speak English and can't take the hint when 100 other people are walking down to their cars. It would be a complete shit show. And this is the US I'm talking about. Other countries in the world are even worse than that, but I can promise this is just one example of how wonderful, courteous, and civilized the people of Norway are in order to make a smooth flowing and efficient country and society. However, the number one greatest thing about Norway is the nature. Now, everybody knows this. Everyone says the nature in Norway is beautiful. Whoop-de-doo. Okay, we all know that. Oh, the fjords. Oh, all the mountains, all the hiking, the skiing, the great outdoors. Yeah, okay. That's all great. But I'm speaking about something much more powerful and deeper than that most people don't understand. The energy in the land, the biodiversity, the health of the land, and how undisturbed the nature has been over the years, and mainly the accessibility of how it is. And it's never too far away. Even if you live in the middle of the city, you're close to these beautiful places, and the history of these places going back millennia. Untouched, uncharted nature, looking exactly the way it did thousands of years ago. No other country has something like this as Norway does. You know, in history, the battles and the events and the kings and the legendary heroes that walked these very same places in Norway. It's all super easily accessible. You don't have to wait in a line for 2 hours. You don't have to pay a massive entrance fee just to see a little part in nature like you do in many other countries. You don't even have to go at certain times of day, like when it's open, like you would at Stonehenge or the Acropolis or the Colosseum or the pyramids or wherever else in these other places in the world. No, in Norway, you can walk or drive to these places anytime you want and stay as long as you want. Amazing, beautiful, sacred, and very ancient places. And that is my number one favorite thing about Norway. And if you are spiritual like I am, and I know most of you watching this channel are, you know the benefits and the energy and the power that you get from being at and connecting with these very special places in nature, just like our ancestors have done for many thousands of years. And lucky for us in Norway, we don't have to pay a fee and walk through a security checkpoint, because some assholes would try to graffiti the place if security wasn't there and desecrate our heritage like they have done at many of these other places in other countries. That's just not something you have to worry about in Norway. Like I said, it goes back to Norwegians just being civilized and respectful. So that is the top 3 things about Norway, but that's just me. That's what I think. What about you guys? Have any of you been to Norway? Do you like any other things about it? Are there any other countries you feel have those same qualities? Let us all know down below in the comments. But that's all for today. Vi ses nästa gång.